All right, so this is what we are going to do. We are going to take that pilot hole right there. We're going to take this frame right here, and we're going to take that up top, boop, and we're going to outline it and then cut out. You can see that we have in here the holes that we are going to use, but we'll do that on the outside too. That's what the middle hole is for, so that we know that that's in the center. And then when we take the frame up top, we set it up there, we mark it off with a grease marker, and then we get our jigsaw out. So let's do it. Oh boy, how am I gonna get up there? I think I'm gonna, I don't have a ladder, so I think I'm gonna just try and, let's do this. Scale the front of the van. Okay, so it turns out that there's actually this big thing that I had not accounted for when I drilled that hole right in the middle, and that's okay. We can scoot this down a little bit, but we know roughly where it's going to be, and so that is why you like to drill that pilot hole there. So check the top of your van, folks, before you punch a hole in it. Hey, sweetie, can you help? I left the grease markers in the door.
My door?
What would I do without you? Okay, so they're on the lip of the sliding door. There's 2 of them.
Okay.
And if I could have both of them, that would be great.
Lip of the sliding.
Yeah, closer to you. To your left. Perfect. Let me... You just reach up. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Here we go. Now it has these little grooves here. And I bought a thing that is supposed to like rest in those and make it nice and flush, but the more that I looked at people doing this, the more that I saw that people would just take the butyl tape and like build it up in the little grooves there and then make it nice and flush, and that works out really well. So instead of dealing with that whole like secondary apparatus, I'm just going to mark this and then cut it out, and then we will build up the butyl tape underneath these little things. Okay, now you can see that the lines here are actually, because of the way that the pen kind of functions, a little bit too far inside there, so we'll use our measuring tape here and just be sure that this opening does in fact reach 14 whole inches. And so I drilled a couple more holes here in the corner, because that way when I go back down, I'm going to tape a garbage bag underneath this to collect the metal shavings. So let's just... Hey, look at that. It's a good thing we're going to paint the van, because we've already got some spots that are coming up. Woo! Okay, so the next step we've got here is taking this blue tape, or, you know, whatever kind of tape you like, and taping up a garbage bag on the underside, because what's going to happen is all of those little metal filings that sort of drop down, we're going to want those to not get into the van body, because they will have no rust protection on them, and what can happen is if they are just, you know, partying in here doing their thing after we put the floor on and all that kind of stuff, it could cause some rust issues. So we want to put this nice little protective layer here before we get started with the top. And then we want to get our jigsaw. So I just bought this. I actually had another one, and when I opened it, I realized it was corded, and these are, I love these things. My dad got me one of these, a drill for Christmas, like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even longer than that. And I use them for everything, so I always end up going back to get more Ryobi. They have these batteries that you attach right there, and they are like universal for every tool. So you just charge the same battery and the same charger, and they work for like everything. They have saws and drills and everything they've got. You can put the battery on there, so it's just super easy. So let's get this set up. This little blade right here, which I'm sure is probably fine for wood. What does it say? Smooth cut wood. Yeah, it's for wood. So we don't want to use that on the metal. What we're going to want to do is, I got these, it's wood and metal jigsaw blades. You can get any different kind of brand, but just be sure that you get one that's for metal and for the right width of metal. So we've got right here, that should be right, 1/16 inch to 1/8 inch. But we got both of them. We got both of them in there. So what we want to do is, well, I'm going to look at the instructions to be sure I know how to put the blades in. The tool-free blade clamp does not require the use of a blade wrench when installing or removing the blade. The jigsaw is designed to use T-shank blades only. So we got a T-shank design, okay. Remove the battery pack, done, not even in. Rotate the blade clamp lever away from the orbital adjustment knob until resistance is felt on the lever and hold in place. Okay, blade clamp lever, orbital adjustment knob. Okay, so we got the thing here. It says toolless blade clamp is A. That thing. Okay, and saw blade is B. I know what a saw blade looks like. Blade support roller. Okay, I don't remember it mentioning that. But that is C, so that's that thingy right there. Let's see what else we got. Orbital adjustment knob. That's what we're looking for. Where is A? I see C and B. Am I missing A in this picture? Tell me there's an A in that picture. There it is. Okay, A. Oh, it's the big knob right in the middle. All right, orbital adjustment knob right there. Okay, so I can't hold this and do it at the same time, but I'm gonna pull this way until I feel the resistance, and then I just put the blade up in there, and then it should lock it back on. Wait, which way is the blade supposed to face though? Because I feel like I always see it moving forward. Yeah, forward. Okay, cool. All right, so we snugged it up in there, and I'm tugging on it, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. I think we got our blade in. So here's what I was talking about with the Ryobi power pack. It's just like on the bottom here, right? And so we've got our new jigsaw here, and it's got a little hole to put the battery pack in. So we just, boop, there it is. All right, let's see if this puppy works. Gonna hold it far away from us. There we go, we got some action, all right. Now I'm going to use my tape measure real quick to fix these lines, because when I used the frame, we saw earlier that the lines might be a little bit small, so we're just going to check those real quick. Measure, it's just the tiniest bit short, so we're going to add just a teensy bit on the sides, because it doesn't actually have to be like perfect for this. We could probably even eyeball it a little bit, but we just want to be sure that it is going to be big enough. If it's a tiny bit too big, that's actually not that much of a problem, because we've got this frame on the underside. It looks pretty good. Let's see what those outside lines look like. Yes, that is a little bit better. Okay, it's just a smidgen wider. We'll do the same thing with the other sides. I am mostly nervous about trying to do these little metal grooves. We'll see how they go. Now what we want to do, we want to make sure that the corner here, it's going to fit in there so that we can go straight along here. So I'm going to take this battery back out, but this is what's so nice about these, you know, you can switch them back and forth. I'm going to take this back out, and I've got this much bigger bit, and it should be about the size of, it's even a little bit bigger, so that'll leave enough of a hole that we can get that saw blade in there. Now this is not, I don't think it's specifically made for metal, but this metal is so thin that it's not that necessary to have the exactly right thing. Boy, I'm gonna put on my work gloves because we're starting to get some metal filings around here. Ah, mismatched work gloves. This is what we have to work with. Okay, just put this on backwards. Just gonna make sure that we don't get... I am not getting back off of the van to get more gloves. All right, gonna kind of... Now, what we want to do here, and I did overshoot that just a little bit, so we want to be careful not to do that. let's see how tough this is, how this goes. We should check we've got it set to 0. He's on 0. Oh, we gotta put the battery in. All right, there we go. Alrighty. Ooh. Oh, the blade is getting bent. Okay, so it's not all the way in that little... Let's fix this. It has come out of its little guide, so we want to take the battery out and try and fiddle with this a little bit, so we do not want to lose our blade. Oh, buddy. Get you back in there. Okay, that ought to do it. Let's try this again. I don't know, maybe I need to go a little bit faster. Maybe I should switch angles here. Can we see what's happening there? We got the line here, got an angle here. Yeah. Maybe I have it on the wrong speed. Let's check the speed setting we've got here. I don't know what that is. Actually, I don't know where to do the speed setting, so forget that. That goes one speed. Let's see what this does. Oh, that goes way faster. No. I want like the medium speed, right? That's too much. Let's try this. I think it said we wanted it to go medium. Oh. Oops. Don't. No, thank you. Oh boy. We have a hole! Yes, we do. So see, we got that all cut out. Now we've got some edges here that we're gonna need to file down and work with. We're gonna need to make sure that this is, you know, squared off a little bit better. But that's it. We've cut the hole. It is there. Here we go. Woo! Say hi, Boone.
Hi, Boone. Hi, Hoon.
Okay, so now we are just getting ready to go up to CVS. Driving to CVS with a hole in the van. I'm driving to CVS with the hole in the van. Just taking a little trip to grab some rubbing alcohol, and because we gotta clean the outside of the thing before we can put the primer on, before we can put the butyl tape on, before we can put the sealant on and everything. So, wish I'd done this a little bit earlier in the day. I think that at this point our hole might qualify as a moonroof. Or it will be soon, so God willing, we will be able to get some of this stuff and get that fan on before it gets too dark out. So here we go. Oh, look at them. That's fancy. Okay, so I am back up here with this flange thing that is the base of the fan, and it fits perfectly. So we really aren't even going to need to do anything else. I'm just going to file down sort of the metal edges here where it's a little bit jagged, kind of file those down a little bit, and then give them a protective coat of this, so that we have some rust protection. And then we will put our butyl tape under here and get our frame on the underside. So the frame is going to go underneath here, and then this will screw onto that frame, and that is what will hold it on. So let's get to it. So I'm just using a little rubbing alcohol on a rag here, just to kind of clean off the edges, clean off things around here. Some of that, you know, grease marker that I got right there. And we'll do this again after the filing is done, just to clean up the edges and make sure that when we put that protective enamel on there, it stops any sort of rust from getting in. I got my file set here with 10 different kinds of files, so I'm not exactly even sure which one I need for this, but I'll just take one and kind of file down those edges, probably this biggest one. Okay, so I've got the edges of the hole all filed down, and they're not nearly as jagged anymore. I can actually touch it with my finger. And I was about to need to go back down to the bottom of the van to get some stuff, but then my lovely neighbor over here stopped by, and she was able to pass some stuff up to me through the hole. And we tried out the frame, and it looks like it's going to fit great on the bottom. She held it up while I put the flange on top. So now I'm just going to take this and I'm going to spray, you know, around the edges and just give it a little bit of rust protection. And just a tip, you probably want to put something like inside the hole here, but I don't really have anything important down there anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and spray. So you just want to take this and you want to make sure that you kind of get that sort of protection on there. So I did not notice until just now that this says that it takes 24 hours to dry fully. It says apply a second coat or clear coat within 1 hour or after 48 hours. So I've put a couple of coats on here to be sure that it's nice and rust protected, but it looks like we are actually going to have to leave her for the night and come back in the morning. Figure this out tomorrow.